Hey guys, Alberta Bushcraft and Outdoors here, and we are in the river valley again today, and we will be wandering around attempting a bow drill and just walking around. We're going to try and find some rose hips for some tea, and so join us on our little trek. So here we were just wandering around. We found this fallen dead poplar log, and as you can see on the underside of it, there's poplar bark, and it's good because since it's on the underside of it, it's going to be dry. So we're going to gather some of this for our tinder bundle for our bow drill. So then we'll be right back. So we found our hearthboard and bearing block here, and we're just going to cut it up and then be right back. So here we have the TOPS BOB. I'm going to be using it, getting used to it in about a couple months, and I'm going to be doing a review on it. But we're going to baton through this log right here. So, oh, there goes our baton. Baton through it nicely, but then cut it straight. I don't think that was the nice swallow, but baton through it quite nicely. So we're gonna process this wood up, get our hearth and spindle and everything else out of this.
Okay guys, now we're gonna carve the spindle and the hearth board out with the TOPS BOB Fieldcraft knife.
Yep.
Alright.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do like a square outline. That should give me an
spindle?
idea. Yeah.
Alright, yeah. While we're here, I'll give you guys a few tips on bow drills. We've been working on them quite a bit. And obviously you want to keep your stuff dry. But the spindle, it has to be straight. If there's even like a slight bit of curve in there, it's very, very hard for it to spin properly with the bow. And then another good tip with the hearthboard, the thinner your hearthboard, the quicker the ember, because the dust fills up the hole fast, and when the dust gets up to the top of the notch, it ignites, so you get the ember. So you want to find that good happy medium when you're doing the thickness of a hearthboard, because you don't want too small of an ember unless you have a coal extender, and you don't want to work too hard to get your ember. So that's just a couple of tips for you guys working on getting bow drills and all that.
So now I got the general squaring done. So it's quite rough. But then I'm gonna cut down the corners a bit to make it like a
hexagon, octagon,
yeah.
sort of shape.
Yeah.
I would just carve it. So he'll probably show you a few different ways of carving with it, just to show. Probably obviously we'll do some push cuts and some chest lever, and then we'll do some knee bracing, which is my favorite for sure. And for you guys in a similar environment as us, we're in a riparian zone, right now. The flood area. There's some of the best woods for friction fire. Cottonwood, poplar, willow. They all are great because they're nice and soft. So this will just be some of the rough shaping. So it looks like it does pretty good. Can I give it a shot?
Oh yeah, sure. I like it. It carves very well.
Yeah,
it's
got that modified Scandi. So here's my preferred. It's you brace the knife on your knee, gives you a lot of control. Helps you to keep that angle. Also good for feather sticks, of course. It's working pretty well.
Yeah, I actually like it.
I don't like the handle, but
it's a little hard on your hands, but otherwise it carves quite nice.
Yeah, actually very nice. It's fairly new, hasn't been used too much.
No, to be honest, it hasn't been used.
I think it was tried, it was used for field dressing one time, but it wasn't too great, so we switched to a Mora. It's actually, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah,
from watching Tim carve with it. My expectations weren't too high. I'm used to using Scandinavian knives with thin blades and Scandis, but this is pretty good. And you can just see these nice thin feathers. All right, I'll give it back to Tim. He'll carve it a little bit more, and we'll get back to you when our spindle's finished.
So we're planing out the hearthboard a little bit.
Pretty good, as is.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that out too much more than it already is, though.
Yeah, good point. Oh. We use the top bit for it. Just rough this out. Yeah, there is a little bit of surface rust on the spine, but not too bad. Did your dad remove the stuff off the spine? So
yeah, I think he was trying to sharpen it up, but that thing is so flippin' dull.
The back?
Yeah, it won't strike a fire steel. I tried.
Yeah. This should generate a number pretty cool. Okay.
I'm actually impressed with the
carving. Yeah, for such a thick thing. Pretty impressive.
I think the handle, though.
Yeah. I don't like it. It's too thick. It's not really like thick enough, you know? But anyways, nice shape and everything. Okay, there. Hearthboard. Okay guys, we're going to give you a little bit of a bow drill tip today. So this is a green piece, and we're going to be using this for our bearing block. It's good to have a piece of green wood rather than dead, because it doesn't want to burn as well. So I've actually done a bow drill on Christmas Eve of this year in the woods. It was snowing real hard, and I had a nice and wet green bearing block, and there was no burning at all. So yeah, that's our bow drill tip for you guys. And we're gonna finish up our set and get a fire started.
Okay, so now we're just gonna carve a number 7 notch right down here, shelf notch, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna make a shear cut right down here, and then we're gonna do a slanted cut down without hitting your fingers.
Okay, we'll get back to you when we're done this notch. Okay, so now we got our number 7 notch. And now we're going to make a good shelf for the string for the bow to sit in.
Okay, so we're just going to cut down here and then kind of...
She's kind of trying to make its own little sort of shelf for the little bowstring to fit in. It doesn't pop out as much if you do this. It's a good test of the steel as well because it's going to be pretty hard on the knife. Alright, let's check it out. We'll see. So you can kind of see how it slopes down a little bit. A little. And the bowstring's going to sit in there. It's pretty wet out today, guys, as well.
Okay, so we got smoke now.
Hasn't even started yet.
Oh, now it goes? Oh my goodness.
Okay, it's burnt in.
Wow.
This probably just needed to be dried out.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so that was weird. Haven't had that much trouble burning in a bow drill for probably since I started. So now we're gonna, well, Tim's gonna use the bob. He's gonna carve a V-notch in here. So yeah, we'll get back to you when we're ready to go.
So today's trip was a success. We got a bow drill fire, but sadly, footage couldn't, I don't know what happened to it. And the knife, it performed amazing. A lot better than I actually thought it would be. It is a little uncomfortable on the hands just because it's blocky. It's meant for a bigger handed person. But otherwise, it performed amazingly. So we're going to keep using this over a couple winter months, and then we're going to do a full-out review on it. So stay tuned.